Hey guys, so cool. Let's have a look at this week. See what we're looking at in terms of the market. So we'll start off by just looking at the week ahead, and then we'll review some of the trades from last week, and we'll just go from there. So I'm hoping it's a good week for me this week. Last week was actually quite bad. I know a lot of the people or a lot of the guys in the Discord were absolutely killing it. Off the setups. I think there was so many setups posted last week. Unfortunately, I think I managed to catch like one good one, and then three losers. And unfortunately, actually two good ones. Left it a little bit too early, and one loser, and then also stopped out on a break even on an absolute ripper. But it is what it is. So yeah, let's just look to next week. And first of all, we're going to talk about Great British Pound, New Zealand dollar. Now, I had this set up for last week. I had like this classic kind of trendline price broke out of it, and it just couldn't break above this level here. And now we're kind of back down to this level. So obviously, one of two things are going to happen. It's either going to go up or down. And really, right now, I'm not too sure. We're kind of sitting in what I call no man's land. The one thing that I'm kind of taking into consideration here is that we've got this like 4-hour trend line. We've seen a lot of consolidation around this level after two really big moves. We have got this double top here. Now I was thinking that we could have ended up, kind of going back up there. This could have just been a consolidation before we make the next leg up, because I do think there's going to be another leg up, but part of me is now kind of thinking, all right, well, we're going to break below. So if we break below this level, which I'm kind of hoping it does, because I really like shorts on this pair and just in general, I'm going to be looking to go to really the next area of market structure, which is this area here. And then we've also got the trend line, which is going to be the full take profit. Now, price could go the other way. So as I say, I always like to have confluence on both pairs, on EURNZD and Great British Pound NZD. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but I'm getting mixed vibes off both. But it's not really a bad thing, because it means that you've got a plan for both ways. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, Great British Pound NZD. I think we're gonna have some downside. We're gonna come to the downside, and we're gonna have a take profit around this kind of level here for a nice kind of 6R, nice 6R trade, which would be good. If price does break to the upside, that's fine. We'll look for some kind of entry. There's a lot of selling going on. There's a lot of resistance around these kind of levels here. So I feel like price is going to have to come back down and grab liquidity, grab orders from somewhere after this failed breakout attempt. So we'll see. If we do, then I'm going to be looking for re-entry around some level here. But we'll see. We'll see what the market offers us, because no matter where this is definitely a failed breakout. As I say, what it could do is it could be just coming down to this level, and then it could look to go back up. But that double top is the thing that's kind of got me a little bit like, and it's a bit head and shouldery. I don't know. We'll just see. We had a double top here, then price came back down and grabbed liquidity, and then it made its move to the kind of next area of higher time frame market structure anyway. So that brings us on to EURNZD. Now, this is where the break-even trade, or I got the break-even stop outs, unfortunately. Two positions, and I was only really actually looking to go to that level. That was posted in the Discord. And then you can see we've kind of broke above it, and price has just consolidated. And we are actually trending down. If we look at the market structure, we're making we've got like, a high here. And now with their market structure has shifted to a high, to a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and price was just not able to break kind of out of this. It did try, so realistically, we're going to be looking at a little bit of downside. And as I say, we've just been like nailing these kind of pivot points. So there'll be an entry around. We'll look for an entry short, obviously, if this does go to the downside, and then we'll just be looking for a long at the next pivot point. But The price action on these pairs is really nice at the moment, so it's best just to be able to take advantage of it. Obviously, as we had that kind of month-long period where it was really quite bad. Now, this is where it gets quite interesting. Euro AUD really struggling to break above that level. We have now shifted. We've gone up to higher time frame market structure. There is a very, very strong level here. Price hasn't tapped into it yet, but I think we're going to see a big sell-off when we get to that level. And I'm just going to be looking for longs at this particular moment on this pair. It's kind of simple. You know, I don't expect too much more. I'm not looking at too much more from this. You know, good at trading the levels. Are very, very respective of levels, this pair. Great British Pound AUD. Now, no matter which way you want to look at it, obviously, there's been a few trades posted. This was posted, although that stop out actually came from swaps, so I don't class that as a stop out. That's still 3.3R as far as I'm concerned. And then we had this breakout and this retest on Friday. Price came up. It actually came to this 4-hour high. If you look here, it came to this high here where price is no longer able to break above it. So it looks like we're on for some downside. We can definitely see a double top there. If that is the case, this is the area of market structure that I am most interested in trading. I'm not interested in this level yet because I still feel like potentially this could move to the upside. So if we break this level of market structure, I'm going to be looking for a short. And this is why it's given, you know, I'm getting two different things off AUD and NZD at the moment. Great British Pound is screaming shorts to me, whereas the Euro just isn't. It's more screaming longs. So at least we've kind of got a plan for both ways. I'd like to start to see what other people are looking at, because when you see what other people are looking at, you get, because you know you get one-sided sometimes on your view. And you think, wow, why would people not be doing that? You know, and I do especially. So sometimes I like to just look at these ideas and see what kind of people are looking at. You generally find a lot of the time people are kind of in the same way, but sometimes people just aren't. So yeah, that's kind of the plan with this. Now, I want to move on to the CADs, because CAD, there was a failed. Yet again, this is one of the other losses that I took last week, compared to the stupid amount of trades that were posted. Now, CAD is interesting because CAD has been stuck in a consolidation for such a long time now, for like a month, and even then before then, obviously, like really, we've had about 2 months of consolidation from the CAD pairs. EURAUD, I'm not too sure on. Managed to catch some decent longs and make some profit on this last week. Thought we might get the continuation up to this level. We actually did, but it had to come down to, I have fucking no idea where, and then price moved up, and it's just not able to break above this level of market structure, like this kind of head and shoulders looking thing that we've got here. So it just keeps moving to the downside. It keeps moving to the downside, and I think we're going to finally come down on this. You can actually see that this realistically has been forming a higher time frame kind of head and shoulders. This kind of higher time frame head and shoulders. So I guess that's probably where the support has come from. I can't see like really much. I don't trust fair value gaps. I don't trade fair value gaps. So massive levels, no really strong key levels. So fuck knows. But yeah, I think we're finally due downside on this pair, on these pairs. So I think we're going to get some shorts before we get some longs. And I've avoided kind of trading them. As I said, I took this EURAUD trade last week, but it should have been a break even, but I got in late. I got in on the second retest, not the first. But yeah, so I'm kind of thinking we're going to go short on this. We're going to go short on the CADs finally. Obviously, there was a USD CAD trade posted last week, which I took a massive loss on. So I'm trying to scale up, but some guys put their stops nowhere near as tight as mine and ended up making money from it. So if USD CAD short, then we're probably going to get shorts on the others. And yeah, we can just see this on Great British Pound CAD. So as I say, like we had that kind of in April, and then actually the price action on Great British Pound CAD was really good for longs. I was trying to short, it was really, really good for longs. And then we've just been stuck in consolidation for a month now. And I think really, no matter which way that you want to look at this, you know, as I say, I trade trendline breaks a lot of the time. You can see that we have this support here. This support was so strong, this like weird consolidation support. And then we actually started working off the support within that as well, this diagonal support here. And we were just kind of trading on these levels. And, you know, we kind of went from being like really aggressively bullish to being slightly bullish, no really market structure shifts. And then we kind of had like, you know, some aggressive buying here. And price just wasn't able to close above this. And if you go back and you look at, oh, we going to be stuck in a range video, which I posted like a month ago, I think we are. The next kind of area where price is going to react is going to be this higher time frame trend line. I can almost guarantee it. So I'm interested in some shorts on this kind of finally, and you can see this head and shoulders here. There's the head, and there's that kind of right shoulder on a very, very weak uptrend here. And I'm just now waiting for some kind of pullback, which I think is going to be roughly to around this level here before being able to take a short. It'll be a good short. As I say, as price didn't manage to break above that, I think we're going to be looking like kind of like this. Maybe we look at this area of market structure where buyers are going to be situated, but we will definitely get some form of retracement, and then we will look for the entry on that. Now, as I say, these are really just the pairs that I'm trading at the moment, so these are where the entries are going to be. These are what I'm going to be taking. No, absolutely nothing else. USD CHF now nailed these two pivot points last week. We had a first take profit here. There was a liquidity tap, so I grabbed in. Price actually didn't close below that level, but that would have been a break even or a first take profit. And then price actually moved up to full TP before making its way down, and then managed to also post, whether or not anybody caught it, the other side where price came down and tapped into this level here. We did get like one more kind of wick. I mean, this was on swaps. CHF pairs does this just as AUD and stuff do. They drop a lot over swaps, or they, you know, they gap a lot, and they always go to a key level. They always tap a key level and then they move back up. So wasn't really a full take profit, but there was still like a nice 5R there, at least, for anybody who took the trade. It's easier to short these pairs than it is to buy, because you don't get as many taps like this. Like when you're buying USD, it's so liquid. Like it will always try tap out. It will always come down and grab the orders from somewhere, because sell-offs are easier. You know, when you get a sell-off, you get a panic sell-off. You know, you take the stairs up and you take the window down, which is why for my style of trading, you don't get as many tap outs when you're doing the shorts. You don't get those same liquidity taps that you do when you get on the buys, which is why I just generally prefer them anyway. So yeah, really interested in this. Although what I will say is that we are stuck in like this range on CHF pairs at the moment. The only one that actually has like some form of clarity or some nice uptrend at the moment is Great British Pound CHF, but we can just see that buyers are weakening, and I'm looking for a structure shift on this, because this will be stuck in a range. And this is the thing about CHF pairs, okay, so this is something that you'll come to know as you trade them. With what has been happening, I mean, it never used to really be like this. But what you do is you get, like, on the CHF pairs, you get some really nice movement, like you can see here. Very, very respects it a lot. And then it just gets stuck in this consolidative range. So that was in this range for nearly 4 months. And yet again, you then get a big move down, and then it was stuck in this range for another 2 months. And then it made its way to the upside. Really lovely price action again. Price came down, and then we're just back stuck in this range. And it's hard to trade, you know, when you haven't got a range like this and nice price action. with the way that I trade. Very difficult. But you can see here that, like, obviously this is just Great British Pound CHF, but it happened across all CHF pairs, and it was obviously on April to do with Liberation Day. You get like a big move on CHF, and when you get a big move down, it will fucking move because so much money is going into it as it's a safe haven. So you want to be able to jump on that trend, at least, or get into it early or whatever. Because it will continue to move down and down and down when there's panic in the markets. It's the first place the money goes to, and it's the bit, gold CHF pairs, JPY pairs. So a big safe haven. But yeah, I think in like USD CHF, unless we kind of break below this, I can't see us breaking out. I see us being stuck in it for a little while, to be perfectly honest. I don't see us really getting out of that range too well. We might do, but yeah, in terms of CHF pairs, potential short on that. So I'll short CHF pairs all day long. Now, it's kind of it really. As I say, I'm now going to be taking longs on German 30 because all the trades that I've placed are pretty much hitting, or all the kind of strategies and entries and exits that I've been looked. I did take one last week. I was a little bit aggressive on it. It didn't work out. The next one did. I didn't take any of these, but I've been like back testing this now for a while. I've been live testing it. I've been watching the price action. It's just so nice. Even then on Friday I had this trade here lined up. Didn't take it. So yeah, but I'm thinking maybe a potential short here. I'm just going to be like, we can see there's obviously a clear downtrend, but I'm just going to be waiting for something on this, waiting for some kind of long opportunity to be able to get into a buy, and then just on like short pairs. Obviously called some really nice shorts on this last week. I think we called short here, take profit here for a 6R. That played perfectly. And now it's kind of looking at longs. JPY pairs. I posted a video about this, I think on Thursday. Full take profit for a 6R. Interested in seeing what happens on this. Obviously just a classic trendline break. We've kind of got like this bit of a head and shoulders going on AUD JPY. Higher time frame, daily trend line is broken. We've actually come back and we've retested the trend line, and you can see there is quite clearly a head and shoulders on the daily. But this trend line here, this downtrend is acting as a strong form of resistance. But if we break out of that, if we manage to close below this level, I'm going to be straight back in for shorts. I don't like to really buy this pair too much. It does respect higher time frame market structure, I have got to say. It's very, very good for AUD JPY. But yeah, just going to be waiting and seeing what happens on this, because there's a few areas of kind of resistance and support that it's working off. And obviously I missed the trade last week, which was this one. NZD JPY, very, very similar. Higher time frame, we've broken the trend line, we've got this area of resistance here. I think there's going to be opportunity for a potential short, although I don't even know why I had this line drawn out. I think it just is like, there's some liquidity there maybe. Very, very strong area, and very strong area that price is working off. So just a wait and see. Nothing's screaming out at me like it was on this head and shoulders last week. Definitely, just going to be waiting on this. Great British Pound JPY, yet again, higher time frame uptrend is. That's one of the longs that I actually had. It was actually off the basis of this. And we could see where the structure was. Just waiting for the break and the retest on it, and price didn't come up and tap full take profit, but it was fucking close for a nice 17R. So we'll see what we can get on JPYs next week for sure. these are the kind of imminent pairs that I'm looking at, and yeah, we'll just go from there, guys. You know, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment, you know, criticize the trading, criticize the entries, do whatever the fuck you want. If you're in the Discord group, please give it a little bit of support. Obviously, the Discord is completely free, so any support that you guys offer, I really, really appreciate. And yeah, let's have a good week next week. I'm hoping to pick at least 4 out of the 5 winners, go for an 80% week instead of a 20% 20% win rate. So yeah, cool guys, appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this, and yeah, let's make some decent money next week.